Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. I've had a busy day and I got back late from work last night, so I haven't had a chance to comment any earlier than this. And I've been that busy that I haven't seen what other people have said or even looked at Twitter for that matter, but just uh, to comment briefly on the game for a few minutes. Here's the point, and obviously Oxford will be happy with that, and they had a game plan that was very similar to Portsmouth's game plan of last week. The only difference is that you know, Oxford were even less ambitious and a lot deeper and respected always far more throughout the entire game, apart from the last 10 minutes of what Portsmouth did last week. But the pattern of the game for large spells of both games was Burnley dominated the ball, Hudson sideways, backward passing, Burnley being laborious and not crisp on the ball. The same way as with Portsmouth last week, but as I say, we were higher on the pitch this week. But the only difference is we created next to nothing in both games, but just got over the line just about by getting the ball in the net twice last week, whereas this week the chances were few and far between, and we've only had one shot on target in the entire game, and only really three shots of no that I can remember in the entire game. The one from Foster in the first half when he was under severe pressure and he was put off that went down on the line. The Colio show attempt where he cuts inside and there's a great save by the Oxford keeper. A save that he'd be expected to make. And then the one intricate move of flowing football and quality that we put together where it comes to Sarmiento in the area and having showed all the composure in the world to score his goal last week, he leans back on a relatively simple effort that he just tries to side foot him because he leans back. He gets the direction, but the elevation's too much and it goes over the bar. And really, in a game of very few chances, it's that one moment where he needed to keep his cool and he failed to do it. So it's frustrating and it was boring, not much of a spectacle, not much tempo, and the longer the game went on, you sort of got a feeling that if there was an element of we got out of jail last week through really struggling with a low block, he got the sense that this week we were not going to be so lucky twice in a row. And there was various problems really that I felt the speed of the passing again was a bit better, but still very slow. Still too much time on the ball for SMA, CJ Egan Riley, and James Trafford annoying me quite a few times when he did that thing of literally like stopping the play by kind of standing on the ball and literally letting seconds of the game tick by, even though the ball was in play. Like he just wasn't moving the ball, and I was thinking that was irritating because he was just allowing Oxford to defensively get even more sturdily set into the shape that they already had. That was fantastic, and actually with about 10 or 15 minutes of the game to go, it was sort of obvious that we'd huffed and we'd puffed and we'd not really damaged Oxford. And it was actually them who, with 10 15 minutes to go, grew in belief. They stepped up the pitch, they put some patterns in play, passes, built up, momentum built. They stepped up the pitch, grew in confidence, and there ended up being a few sort of goal mouth scrambles, and that one where Trafford dived and uh, Esteve uh, to make sure we dived and vertically blocked the ball, and it was a bit. You could have almost seen a smash and grab occurrence of a goal out of the blue for Oxford, and in the end, you come away feeling that we've played very poorly, we've been frustrating, but at least it's another clean sheet in a game on the road where we've come away with something. But what I wanted to touch on mainly is that in my 25 years, or uh, 27 years of being a Burnley fan, I've always known Burnley fans to be very patient, very respectful of oppositions, quite a humble bunch, not wanting too much too soon, and being, you know, respecting oppositions and things like that. But what's a bit concerning, and well, concerning just from a fan's perspective of wanting to, conduct yourself as a fan in the right way, but also worrying for the players and Scott Parker and this team and its current guys is, some of the behaviour of fans. Somebody shouted to me behind me yesterday that Ralph Foster needs to fuck off and he's shit and he's done nothing and he's useless, or basically calling the Blues crap. And there was isolated boos at full time, and we've not got the result we've wanted, we've not played well, we've not created chances, it's not been exciting. But ultimately, we've drawn the game away from home against a really organised team, a team who had a game plan, a team who had three towering defenders who are all over 6 foot tall. And, it's a bit of a thankless task for Ralph Foster up front trying to get joy out of them on his own. And it isn't true that he did nothing and was useless. He had probably the second best to our chances, and if he had a bit more time, then that shot very neatly went in. It was excellent pressure from the Oxford defender to put on him as opposed to a really poor miss. And then if you really, think about what he did actually do in the game, there was times where he was excellent with the link-up play, coming into midfield, holding defenders off, chesting it down, bringing teammates into play, creating the space. Then, you want him to be in the box instead of doing that, or you want him to run into the channels. But not every striker can be a clinical 15, 20, 25 goal a season man. There's more to come forward play than just putting the ball in the net. So it's very, disappointing to see people insulting our players when, after all, it is a draw. And if you want to be positive about it, we are the first team who's taken a point away from Oxford's Kassam Stadium this season. And You know, it was never going to be easy, and we were never going to click into gear overnight. But I do somehow fear that unless we find a more fluid way of breaking down these less ambitious teams in a more effective way, then we're going to risk facing a setup of teams packing the defence and midfield with 8, 9, and in some cases 10 men behind the ball, because it's quite clear that we are developing a problem with breaking down the low blocks, and you can bet your life that in some form or other we'll be facing a very similar setup from both Plymouth and Preston in the Tyrone games this week. So, you know, I'd expect Plymouth to be a bit more ambitious than Oxford, but Preston to be probably very negative. So it's important as fans we're patient and try and stick with the team in a loyal and supportive way this week, and hope that the answers are found soon, because the players just did seem to be a bit I don't know, hesitant to shoot. There was many a time when I just wished when it was on the edge of the Oxford box, somebody had created some space and try and shoot from long range, because there was no way that we were ever going to win anything in the air. And even almost every cross that we played into the box throughout the whole game was never going to be able to find its intended target, just because of the disparity in height between our players and the Oxford centre backs, and the way that we were crowded out. So the best avenue seemed to be to create overlaps for a cutback or from a long range effort. But it was almost as though the confidence to actually take the shot on and be the hero wasn't there, or when the opportunity was there, we like fluffed our lines and it was one pass too many. So we need to just simply shoot more, because obviously if we don't shoot, we can't score. And you know, we're not going to be given much space by many teams. So it's not as though we can afford to wait for counter-attacking opportunities, because we've struggled to break down Rovers and Oxford and Portsmouth now. So unfortunately, the unhelpful blueprint has been set that if you give Burnley the ball, they're not as creative as they were in the previous championship season, where we had the ability in that season, and in the team that played the first two games of this season, we had goal scoring opportunities all over the pitch. You know, Taylor Benson's a Rudy Brownhill, Foster, everybody could contribute to the goals, but at the moment it's a bit like if it doesn't happen through Coley Osho beating these men and cutting in and getting a shot away, or brilliance from Sarmiento, it is a bit looking like we're going to have to be a team of moments, depending on a bit of individual brilliance, rather than being able to carve a team open in terms of a team effort with passing and movement. So very frustrating, but it's a work in progress. We could have played worse in the way that, yes, it wasn't dynamic. We didn't deserve to win because we didn't hammer on the door enough. I'd be less concerned if we'd hit the post and the keeper was man of the match for Oxford, or even if Oxford were hanging on for dear life for the game and they pulled off a miracle, then it would be less concerning. But the fact is, we were laboured, tired, we run out of ideas, and we have to find a solution and a way of sharing the goals around the pitch, because I don't think that we have a striker as such that we can rely on to be a clinical goal poacher or anything. So at the moment we're ticking over, but not with any confidence or style. The one thing that I would say is that Esteve was absolutely superb with every bit of defending that he did, and he won every ball every time Oxford came into our half. It seemed to be like glue to him. So I'd say that if I was looking for a man in a match uh, contender, I would say that the options would be Esteve, and I thought Cullen, even though I called for him not to play, he did, and he played with some assurance. And out of the midfield options, I think Cullen was the most crisp with his passing, and probably the one that played with the most composure, and the way that he passed the ball was quite crisp and controlled, although obviously he's never one for playing the more penetrative forward passes, but even so he played with quite a bit of style, and so he was the best player. But there were quite a few people Brian and I hardly noticed much yesterday. Hannibal was classy in moments when he got away from players and was able to find a few forward passes, but then again, he frustrated me a lot by, being knocked off the ball. And as a team, we looked quite frustrated yesterday. A few players, lost the ball and then petulantly sort of gave a foul away in frustration when there was no way that we could ever get to the ball. So yeah, I feel like I could sense that the players knew that they needed to be doing better, and that was like kind of exemplified by Scott Parker coming over with the players to clap us at the final whistle, when there was almost a hand of apology that he put up to the away fans, which got me thinking that he was almost sort of blaming himself for the fact that we didn't win, which is a bit worrying and not something that he really needs to do in September after a 0-0 draw. But we're not conceding goals, and I think teams are going to have to work very, very hard to break us down offensively, which means that obviously if we can keep the back door shut, we only need one moment of quality to win a game. And really, if Sarmiento keeps his composure, or Atunji can sort his feet out when the ball bobbles and comes to him in the box later on and it just sort of bounces off him, those really are to quote Sean Dash, the fine margins that can make a difference, when you've played poorly. And we could easily be reflecting on a 1-0 win, but we're not, and it's, annoying and frustrating, but another point on the board, and 2 games this week where I think it's essential to sort of build the momentum and win twice this week because of the level of opposition that we're going to be playing this week. it's something where theoretically nothing but 2 wins will do to keep people on side and sort of allow us to get into the groove of being the team that's expected to win the game and dominate the ball. And I don't think we're a bad football team. It's just that we're lacking a ruthless edge and dynamic play. Basically, we're not very excited to watch. The ball doesn't go through the thirds of the pitch anywhere near quick enough. You get the impression that it's almost like played at walking pace with us a bit too often at the moment. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. What I did want to say is that if you look at the championship, the one reason why we don't need to panic or overreact to this is, uh, you know, everybody appears to be able to beat literally everybody else. Who would have thought that Sheffield Wednesday would be able to beat West Brom? Uh, you know, Sheffield United were only able to draw Portsmouth, where we could beat Portsmouth. So that's again two former Premier League teams from last season have played, uh, you know, recently promoted teams from League One in successive weeks have been unable to win. Sunderland have lost 2 out of the last 3. Rovers won again, yes, but again, I experienced the game of playing 10 men for a long time. What I'm saying is we're difficult to beat. We can only improve from now on. And it seems like there's not going to be a team who runs away with the league. Nobody's going to get 100 points, 96 points in this league. There's 4 or 5 good teams you can name now that are going to make up the top 6. West Brom, Sheffield United, Leeds, Burnley, maybe Rovers, maybe Middlesbrough, but Burnley are going to be in the top 4, 5, 6 all season at worst. And if we can get more fluent, if we can find the key to unlocking the door, if players can be a bit more crisp and composed in their decision making, if we can be a bit less, selfish like yesterday, Sam Angel ran down blind alleys and got crowded out several times, for example. But if we can quicken up our thought processes and start playing a quicker brand of football where it's one touch pass and then the winger gets on the bike and gets in behind, and then we can break down a team. Or if we can find a habit of scoring against these unambitious minded teams, if we can score in the first 10 or 15 minutes, then we'll be giving ourselves a lot more space to work with if they have to come out and be more attacking. So it's just about, can the relationships on the field build? Can the fans stay patient? And can we find some momentum? But at very worst, we're going to be in the mix for a playoff place. And if things can develop well, then, I don't think there are many better football teams in this league, if any at all, than us. But it's just Scott Parker has put our minds at rest by finding the solutions against these teams who are going to just try and crowd us out. So, frustrating, yes, but something to be angry about, no. And Oxford, there's no point in saying it's only Oxford because they're on 10 points and they're unbeaten at home, and they deserved it for making such a difficult play against game plan. So we must, respect the fact that we're not gonna turn up and win 3 and 4 nil every game. And we've had a very traumatic and turbulent summer. And I'm sure that 3 weeks ago we would have all been chuffed to bits, still being on 14 points by now. And don't forget, we could easily be top of the league by 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. So, up the Clarets, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe and share my channel if you enjoy listening to my boring dulcet tones. And I'll be back to talk about the Plymouth game probably sometime tomorrow evening. So take care and have a nice sleep tonight and a productive day tomorrow. Up the Clarets, and come on, Burnley.